Hi guys, welcome to mock 4. So we'll be discussing the QA section. I did go through the paper and trust me, this paper again like other mocks gave us enough scope to score. There were a lot of direct questions. There were a lot of questions where we can just use calculation techniques to get our answer. So all in all, I do not see this as a very difficult paper, right? So let's go ahead and start solving, and let's also see, what is the minimum kind of score that a student should have expected to crack in the examination. So if I look at my first question, let's directly start discussing this. Along a road, an odd number of stones are placed at an intervals of 15 meters. Okay. These stones have to be assembled somewhere around the middle stone. So let's say this is my middle stone. So there is one stone 15 meters away from here. Let's say I name it as stone A. Similarly, I would have one more stone from here, 15 meters from here, and then another stone from here, let's say 15 meters from here, and so on, so on, so on. Clear? And equal number of stones on the left hand side. So the gap between them is 15 meters only. So let's say I start from the back. This is Z. Then I have this as Y. And then another 15 meters ahead, this as X, and so on and so on and so on. Okay. Now the gap between two stones is 15 meters is what the question says. It's a very direct question. I would not see this question to be anywhere in, I would rather keep it as a counting technique here. Clear? They have to be assembled in the middle. So all the stones have to be brought back to the center. So this is my center stone. Okay. So a person can carry only one stone at a time. A man has started from the middle, right? Carrying stones in succession. So this guy starts, if he has to bring A, he has to go forward, then take it back and then come back. This is the process to carry stone A. If this guy has to bring stone B, so let's say he's going here and then coming back carrying stone B, and so on, so on, so on. Okay, right? Which means it's pretty easy to bring a stone A. This guy goes 15 forward and 15 backward. So to bring first stone from the center, 30 meters. To bring second stone, he goes 30 forward and then comes back 30 backward. That is 60. Similarly, to bring stone C, again 45 forward and 45 backward, that becomes 90. And so on, so on, so on. Clear? This was on the right hand side. Similarly, he will travel the same distance on the left hand side as well. So 2 times of this is going to be the total distance covered in terms of meters. And as per the question, that is 11.2 kilometers. That is 11.4 kilometers. That is 11,400 meters. So if I cancel this, this becomes 2 5s are 10. Our 14, 57 hundreds. Now, if you observe, this can be written as 30 into 1. This can be written as 30 into 2, so on, so on, so on. Let me assume there are n stones on my right. There are n stones on the right. Similarly, there will be n stones on the left. So total number of stones will be 2n plus 1 because he is also sitting in the middle. Clear? So if I can further take a 30 common, this becomes 30 common. This is 1 plus 2 plus 3, so on till n. Now 0, 0 gets cancelled. 3 ones are 390s. Sorry, 190s. So right hand side is the sum of first n natural numbers. That is n into n plus 1 by 2. As per the question should be equal to 190. If you are good at number crunching game, I can write 19 into 20 is equal to 190. So 2 ones and 2 tens, and this will be equal to 190, which means the value of n is equal to 90. I repeat, we have assumed that there are n stones on the right and n stones on the left and the center stone. So therefore, the total number of stones here becomes 2 into 19, that is 38, 38 plus 139, and 39 becomes our final answer. So I would not see this question to be falling into any area. I would rather see this question as a simple puzzles question where we can apply calculation techniques and get our answer. Right? So let's move to the second question. This question should have been solved by anybody who's preparing for CAT. Just to deviate a bit, I repeat once again, please mark at a point. What are the things that you need to know before you're preparing for CAT? First things first, sum of first n natural numbers. First n natural numbers, we know the formula is n into n plus 1 by 2. We need to know how to apply this. Then we're looking at sum of squares of first n natural numbers. That is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. Then we're looking at sum of cubes of first n natural numbers. That is going to be n into n plus 1 by 2 whole square. Minimum these three formulas are the ones that we need to know before we are going ahead and preparing for this examination. Clear? Right? Let's go to the second question now. What does the second question talk about? Now, which of the following is the total number of integers which are divisible by 2 or 3 or 5? Now, again, this is a basic thing that we should know before we are, getting into any topic, because this also doesn't come into any topic. To me, this question comes under set theory. Set theory, we need to understand when I use the word or, it is counted as union of sets. The number of numbers divisible by 2 union 3 union 5. Now, we need to know the formula of n of A union B union C. So please go back and by heart formulas, n of A union B, n of A union B union C. At least these two are required, okay? So let me revise it for you. N of A union B union C, the formula would be n of A plus n of B plus n of C minus n of A intersection B minus n of B intersection C minus n of A intersection C, and then I add back n of A intersection B intersection C. Clear? So here if I'm talking about number of numbers divisible by 2 union 3 union 5, so I need to know all the numbers which are divisible by 2 from 1 to 101. Similarly, all the numbers which are divisible by 3 from 1 to 101, all the numbers that are divisible by 5 from 1 to 101. Now, number of numbers divisible by 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is 6. Number of numbers divisible by 2 and 3 and 5. 3 and 5, the LCM is 15. And number of numbers divisible by 2 and 5. 2 and 5, the LCM is 10. Plus n of A intersection B intersection C, that is 2, 3, and 5. So LCM of 2, 3, and 5 will be 6, 5 are 30. So multiples of 2. Now, how do I calculate multiples of 2? If I look at my numbers from 1 to 101, the easier part is my first number is 2 into 1 and my last number is 2 into 50. So you need to understand we are writing 2 into 1, then we are writing 2 into 2, then we are writing 2 into 3, and so on, so on, so on. So we go from 2 into 1, 2 into 2. So instead of seeing what is happening, you can see that we are just counting running numbers. 2 into 1, 2 into 3, so on, so on, so on till 2 into 50. Now this becomes an advantage if the range is from 1 to some value. Because every first multiple, if I want multiples of 3, my first multiple will be 3 into 1. And my last multiple goes on as 3 into 33. So I start from 1 till 33. Clear? So therefore, all we go ahead with is how many multiples of 2 are there? I know that there are 50 multiples of 2. How many multiples of 3 are there? There are 33 multiples of 3. Now, again, you can start quickly calculating. 5 into 1 is my first multiple and 5 into 20 is my last multiple. So from 1 to 20, you have 20 multiples. How many multiples of 6? 6 into 1 is my first multiple. 6 into 16 is 96. So therefore, 16 multiples of 6. How many multiples of 15? 15 into 1 is 15. 15 into 6 is 90 because 15 into 7 is 105, right? So 15 into 6. So there are 6 multiples. There are 10 multiples of 10. And there are 3 multiples of 30. So this gives me 53. This is 103. This total gives me 103. And this is 103 plus 3 will give me 106. So 106, let me write it this way, minus 6, minus 16, and minus 10. Clear? Right? So 106 minus 6 will give me 100, 100 minus 26. So 100 minus 26 will eventually give me 74. So there are 74 numbers which fall into these categories. Clear? And therefore my answer becomes option. So again, repeat, if in case we know, I'm assuming that you do not know this formula, so we can also skip this question, not a problem, but we should know how to solve because this is something that we have been doing in our school days altogether, right? So let's go to the first, second, third question. So I'm assuming that second question, we can still give a leeway, but first question should have been solved. Let's look at the third question. Now, two lateral faces of cuboid. Now we should know each face of a cuboid is rectangle, right? And two lateral surfaces has an area of 60 and 40 centimeters square. what could be the area of third surface of the cuboid if it is known as the volume of the cuboid is 480 centimeter cube? Basic question of cuboid. We should not have left it if we know the basic formulas of a cuboid. We should know that L into B is one of the surfaces of a cuboid. Similarly, B into H is the other face, and L into H is the third face. Clear? So these are the three lateral surfaces. Now, curved surface area is 2 times of LB plus BH plus LH. That is not required. The question says any two of them. Let me assume L into B is equal to 60 given to us, and B into H is equal to 40 given to us. Now, what is the volume of a cuboid? Volume of a cuboid is L into B into H. Now, this given to us is 480 centimeter cube. Now, let us use this. If I multiply these two values, let's see, what do I get? So, I'm multiplying L into B into H, which is equal to 60 into 40. Let us not calculate. This is in a way L into B into H into have another extra B here. There are two B's here, okay? Now, which is equal to 60 into 40. Now, I know that L into B into H from here is 480. So, I write 480 into B is equal to 60 into 40. So, 40 into 12, and this becomes 12 into 5. So, I get the value of B is equal to 5. Now, things become pretty easy. I have L into B is equal to 60. Out of which I know B is equal to 5. If B is equal to 5, from here I can consider that L is equal to 12. Similarly, B into H, I am taking it as 40. Again, B is equal to 5. So from here I can take the value of L is equal to 8. Sorry, the value of H is equal to 8. Now I want the area of the third lateral surface, the third lateral face, which is LH. So LH becomes L into H, which will be how much? 12 into 8, and therefore the answer is going to be 96. So people who know cuboid and who have missed it should understand it's a very easy question, not a difficult question, should not have been left. But yeah, since geometry has not been over, we are considering this to be left in the examination. So far out of 3, the first question should have been definitely solved. Okay. So 2, I'm still going on a conservative side. We are not solving those 2 questions. Let's move to the next one. A student was given a task to calculate the average of 10 students of a class. It was known that none of the students scored less than 10 or greater than 100. That means all the students had 2-digit marks. By mistake, a student interchanged the 2 digits of marks MN of one student. Okay. And as a result, the average marks calculated for the 10 students was 2.7 more than what it would have been. So let me assume that there were 9 students. Yeah, 10 students, right? So let us assume that 9 students and the average was A. And the 10th student had MN. Now what happened actually, MN is a 2-digit number, right? So let me write, so the 10M plus N, this is a 2-digit number. This divided by 10 should have been the average. Clear? But what did this person do? This person took 9A plus 10N plus M, interchange the 2 digits of the number. So it comes under 2-digit model. Clear? This divided by 10. So the average thus obtained was 2.7 more than this value. So if you take 10 as an LCM completely here, you get 9A plus 10M plus N plus 27 by 10 is equal to 9A plus 10N plus M divided by 10. So 10 and 10 gets cancelled, 9A gets cancelled. So in a way, this is nothing but 27 is equal to 9 times of N minus M. Clear? Or the value here becomes 9 into 3. So the value of N minus M is equal to 3. So this question falls under 2-digit number concept. Very simple. Now the best part of this question was it was a combination of a 2-digit number and averages. So not a difficult question to crack in 2 minutes. So out of 4 questions seen so far, you should have invested your time in 2 of them and converted 2 of them. Clear? Let's look at the next question. Now, people who like geometry or who do not like geometry, to me, I always would tell this. In fact, I also told in the class that if in case I see any question with respect to angles, I should not be leaving it. Now, this question falls into that category where you should have grabbed, marks by just reading the question. If I read the question, I get an idea, I will do it. But with respect to angles, I should not be leaving it. Okay. So ABCD is a square and BCE is an equilateral triangle, which means this is 90 degree, this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, and this whole thing is also 90 degrees. And BEC is an equilateral triangle. Now all the angles of equilateral triangle are equal and they are equal to 60. Now what does the question talk about? So this complete angle we know is 150. Okay. Now the question says find the angle DEC. So we are supposed to calculate this angle. Now if BEC is an equilateral triangle, this side is equal to this side, which is equal to this side. Okay. Now ABCD is a square. If ABCD is a square, can I say BC is also equal to AB, which is also equal to AD, which is also equal to DC? So now if I see in triangle DCE, okay, in triangle DCE, I see the side CE is equal to the side DC. Which means, can I say the angle opposite to the equal side are equal? Which means, can I say, if this is true, which means angle D is equal to angle E? Clear? If angle D is equal to angle E, and I know that the sum of 3, so angle D plus angle E plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. If angle C is equal to 150, and I know these two angles are equal, I would take x plus x is equal to 180, or we have 2x is equal to 30 degrees, or we have the value of x is equal to 15 degrees. So therefore, the answer for this question is going to be 15 degrees. Now, this is what I mean by saying that we should not be leaving questions with respect to angles in a question. So please understand that whenever you see a question, your job is to read the questions. It is a question which comes in standard 8 or 9 category here. You need not even know the geometry to solve this question. I should feel that you should have solved it. Again, giving a leeway that you should have left by seeing this as a geometry questions, but still out of 5, 2 questions would have been solved. I'm assuming that you have left this question. Okay, let's move to the next question. Now, total expenses of a boarding house are partly fixed and partly varying, a standard model that we have already seen. Clear? Now, the average expense per boarder, please understand, my total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost, not the average cost. Clear? So, what is the total? Sum total? Sum total we know is average into number of terms is equal to sum total. Now, this is the only thing that you have to keep in mind because the question says average expense per boarder. Okay. Now, average expense per boarder is 700 when there are 25 boarders, which means 25 into 700 is the total cost, which is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost is cost per unit. Let me assume X rupees per unit. And it is $600 when there are 50 boarders. So I would say 50 into 600. Clear? Is equal to F plus 50x. Now, I also told you how to solve this question. This question can be written as F plus 100x divided by 100 is what the question is asking you. Please understand the question is asking what is the average cost. For to get F plus 100x, I can also look at this as F plus 50x and then I need to add another 50x divided by 100. So F plus 50x is what we already know, that is equal to 50 into 600. Now let's see. Now for simplified calculation's sake, I'm writing 50 as 25 into 2. So when I subtract these two, understand this is F. So F gets cancelled. When I subtract these two, I just get 25x. Can I say 25x? Now understand, you should be very good at these calculations. So 25 into 700 is what I have. Now the other value can be smartly written as 25 into 1200. 2 into 600. Okay. So I subtract these two. What should I ideally get? We should get 25 into 500. Clear? We can take 25 common. So 25x is equal to 25 into 500. which means and I need the value of 50x. So can I say into 2, which means the value of 50x. Again multiply by 2, that is 25 into 250, 50 into 500, that is 25,000. Clear? So 50x is 25,000 and f plus 50x is 30,000. So that becomes 30,000 is f plus 50x plus 25,000 divided by 100. So in all we get 55,000 divided by 100, or the average expense should have been 550. So therefore our answer here becomes option B. Clear? Not a question to be left out, because we have discussed in the class, out of 6 questions, I expect you to answer 3 of them. Clear guys? Let's keep moving to the next one. Now what is the units digit of this expression? We have discussed for 9, the cyclicity of 9 is 2. Which means I am either looking at 9 to the power odd will be equal to the last digit of 9 to the power 1, that is 9, or 9 to the power even, the last digit of which becomes 9 square, that is 81. Clear? Right? So 39 to the power, so we have 39 to the power 46 to the power 252. I need to know the magnitude of this. Now 46 to the power 252 is multiplying 46 252 times. So multiplying 46 252 times will give me the result as an even number. Which means 9 to the power even is the last digit of 9 square, and 9 square ends with 1. Now 73 to the power 47 to the power 33. Now the cyclicity of 3 is 4. So it is very important for me to understand what is the remainder when 47 to the power 33 is divided by 4. I repeat, whenever you have n to the power x divided by a number, let's say a number called p, we check the cyclicity of p. Second point, we divide x with cyclicity of p and we find the remainder. And the final digit will be, the last digit will be n to the power the remainder. So I need to calculate the remainder when 47 to the power 33 is divided by 4. Coming forward from remainders theorem, 47 when divided by 4 leaves the remainder of minus 1. This can be written as minus 1 to the power 33 divided by 4. Now minus 1 to the power 33 is equal to minus 1. So I get a remainder of minus 1 when I divide by 4. So can I say my positive remainder is 4 minus 1, that is equal to 3. Which means 73 to the power 47 to the power 33, the last digit becomes the last digit of 3 to the power 3. Now 3 to the power 3 ends with 7. So the last digit of 9 to the power something is 1. And the last digit of 3 to the power something is equal to 1, and I'm adding both of them, which means the last digit of this expression is going to be 8 here. Clear? So should not have left this question, guys. So according to me, 4 questions with this question you should have definitely answered. You should not have left this question so far. Okay, let's move to the next one. A pet merchant started his business at the end of 2008 by buying 9 score of pets. Please understand, score is a group of 20 items, a score. Okay. Every year he added m percentage pets. That means he started with 9 into 20. Beginning of the year, he added 1 plus m by 100. Multiplying factor becomes 1 plus n by 100. And then he sold n percentage of the pets. 1 minus n by 100. Clear? The merchant had 9 score pets, and this is what he did every year. Both m and n are greater than 0. The merchant had 9 score of pets at the end of 2012. So again, at the end of 2012, that means how many such cycles? From 2009, one cycle of up and down. 2010, one cycle of up and down. 2011, one cycle of up and down, and 2012, one cycle of up and down, which means to the power 4 and to the power 4. Clear? Successive up and downs. So 9, this gets cancelled. Now on the right hand side, we have 1. So let's take the 4th root of this number. If I take 4th root of the number, I get 1 plus m by 100 into 1 minus n by 100 is equal to 1. So when I simplify, 1 into 1 is 1, minus n by 100 plus m by 100 minus mn by 10,000 is equal to 1. Again, 1 and 1 gets cancelled. So rewriting this, I can get m plus n by 100 is equal to mn by 10,000. So 2 zeros and 2 zeros gets cancelled. So eventually what do we have? We have m plus n is equal to mn by, sorry, m minus n by. Yeah. So m minus n is equal to mn by 100. Clear? Now please understand, m and n are the pets, or m and n are percentage of change. Clear? So if I use my options, can I say that m minus n should always be positive? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Or let's look at this way. I'm looking at this as m is equal to mn by 100 plus n. If m is equal to mn by 100 plus n, which means this gives me one indication that m has to be greater than n. If m has to be greater than n, if you're going by options, there's only one option that is satisfying your answer, and therefore this becomes option number 3. Okay, so this is what makes the question very easy, but yeah, I'm not counting this to be your area, but please understand, if you are given these kind of questions, you can always go by options and get your final answer there. Clear? Right? So this should not have been left in case you know percentages altogether. But anyways, I'm still holding on to my task that so far you should have got 4 answers correct in this paper. Let's look at the next question, please. Yep, so x is equal to 1 into 2, 1 into 3, so on, so on, so on. This is a model that we have not seen, so it's okay. We can ignore this question. I still hold with the number. 4 questions correct. By now, we should have got 4 into 3, that is 12 marks. Let's not waste time in questions that we are not sure of. Okay, I've ignored all the geometry questions as well. Now, 3 runners, Dexter, Michael, and Frodo, are running a race in water, with Dexter finishing 20 meters ahead of Michael and 34 meters ahead of Frodo. So Mr. Frodo is there, while Michael finishes 21 meters ahead of Mr. Frodo. Anyways, let's see this. Now, the minute the question used the word water, I thought that maybe it might be an upstream and downstream question, but when you read the question, there is nothing mentioned about the stream, which means it's a normal pool. If you look at it, find the length of the pool. It's a normal linear race. If it's a linear race, we remember this model. Dexter finishes 20 meters ahead of Michael, which means if Dexter covers the time in which Dexter covers x meters, in that time Michael covers x minus 20 meters. This is nothing but Dexter beats Michael by 20 meters. Okay. And Frodo by 34 meters, which means x minus 34 is the distance covered by Frodo. In races, we assume time is equal to constant. When time is constant, the ratio of distances is directly proportional to the ratio of their speeds. Fair enough. Now, each of the 3 participants are running at a constant speed. Okay, now, but yeah, while Michael finishes, which means when Michael covers x, Frodo covers x minus 20. Clear? Because in the first place, Michael has not completed the race. So I know that these are the ratio of speeds of D, M, and F, and these are also ratio of speeds of D, M, and F. So I can pick up one thing very clearly, that I can equate these 2 speeds, because the question says that they are running at constant speed. So I can say x minus 20 by x minus 34 is equal to x by x minus 21. So let's cross multiply. We have x square minus 21x minus 20x plus 420 is equal to x square minus 34x. So x square gets cancelled. So we have a plus 420 here. So this is a minus 41. Going on my right becomes a plus 41, which gives me 7x, or the value of x is equal to 60. And we have assumed that x is the length of the pole. Clear? And therefore the answer of the length of the pole becomes 60. A straightforward question coming up from the classroom model. I should not be considering this to be left. So please count in 5 correct questions in this paper. And so far, none of the questions has trapped us. Right? So let's move to the next question. Please go back and revise the races in case you have not done this question. Let k be a positive integer such that k plus 4 is divisible by 7. If k plus 4 is divisible by 7, we can always write k plus 4 is equal to 7y. Okay. Find the smallest positive integer n such greater than 2 such that k plus 2n is always divisible by 7. This is also divisible by 7. Now, if I take the value of k as 3, because I know that the first multiple of 7 is 7 only, right? So I can take k as 3. So 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Clear? If 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, then I can take this as 3. Again, if I take this as 4, if 2n is equal to 4, then in that case, the value of n that we will get is 2. But the question says n should be greater than 2. Clear? So I repeat, this 4 can be written as 3 plus 2 into 2 is equal to 7. Right? So this is not working because n should be greater than 2. If I take 14, again n cannot be an integer because 3 plus 2 into 5.5 will be 11, which is not considered. Clear? If I take my next number as 21, 21 will give me 3 plus 18. 18 will be 2 into 9 is equal to 21. So can I say that the smallest integer n which will make this number divisible by 7 is always going to be n is equal to 9, and that will make the number always divisible by 7. Clear? But yeah, I mean, it's an easy question, to be very frank. I should be considering this in the list of questions that you have solved, but since it's the first mock that you're seeing these kind of questions, I'm not considering this. So I'm still holding on a very conservative side 5, but on an optimistic side, I will still go with 6. I will count this question which is supposed to be solved because it's a very simple question. Okay, so I'm still in dilemma between 5 and 6. Let's see. By the end of the mock, we will see whether this should have been converted or not. Now, 25 men can complete a piece of work in 14 days, man days concept. So 25 into 14 is the total work. After every 5 days, 5 men are called off, which means for the first 5 days, 25 men have been working. So from 25 into 14, 25 into 5 is gone. Can I take 25 common? That means the remaining work is 25 into 9. That is a quick calculations. Okay, I need not add and okay, because quite simple, guys. I repeat, 25 into 14 minus 25 into 5. You can take 25 common, that becomes 25 into 9. Now, for the next 5 days, 20 people work. Let me smartly write this as 5 into 4. Now, can I consider this as 25 into 4? So I had 25 into 9. From 25 into 9, 25 into 4 was considered. So 25 into 9 minus 25 into 4 will give me how much? 25 into 5. That means after 10 days, 25 into 5 work was left. Now for the next 5 days, 5 more men were called off. Now there were only 15 men. That is 5 into 3. Again, let's use the same logic. 25 into 5 was there, and 25 into 3 is over. That means at the end of 15 days, only 25 into 2 units were left. Now for these 5 days, 10 men were working. That is 5 into 2, and I can say that 25 into 2 is equal to 25 into 2, which means by this point my work is over. So first set of 5 days, second set of 5 days, third set of 5 days, and fourth set of 5 days, which means 20 days the work should have been completed, and that's going to be your answer. A very simple lollipop based question. You can also use man days concept, add and subtract from your left hand side, you'll get your answer. But I think this becomes a very easier way of calculating. Clear? So learn this method of calculation. Every time how much is left, how much is done, how much is left, how much is done, and that will give you your answer. So I repeat, being in dilemma, we had 5 and 6. I'm adding this question to each one of them. So by the end of this question, either 6 or 7 should have been converted. Clear? Find the remainder when the number is divided by 8. Now it's a very simple question, should not have been left. Clear? So far we were done with 6 and 7. I should have been writing +1 and +1. By the end of this question, either 7 or 8 questions should have been converted, excluding the lollipop questions from geometry. Now, what the remainder theorem says? We know that remainders are multiplicative. That means the final remainder can always be the remainder. What is the remainder? This multiplied with 47006 divided by 8 multiplied with 47007 multiplied with 8. So divided by 8. Now 8 is 2 cube. So 2 cube means I need to know the remainder is nothing but the last 3 digits divided by 8. Whatever is the remainder, that will be the final remainder. So last 3 digits is 005. Last 3 digits is 006. So here the remainder will be 5. Here the remainder will be 6. And here the remainder will be 7. So 5 into 6 is 30. 30 into 7 is 210. So my final remainder is 210 when divided by 8. 8 2s are 16. Let's do this. 8 2s are 16 and you have a 58 6 are 48, which means the remainder is going to be 2. Clear? So the final remainder becomes 2 when this number is divided by 8. Worst case, guys, you could have multiplied using calculator and you could have divided it as well. Clear? But a very simple question. Remainders are multiplicative, very easy question. So therefore, 7 corrects / 8 corrects by the end of this question. I would leave this question the minute I see there's a diagram, isosceles, vertices, base, circles, semicircles. I would leave this. I would not do this. How many numbers can be formed by using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without repetition when the digits at units place is greater than that of tens place? Number of numbers we have not seen, permutations, combinations. Leave this question for the time being. I repeat. So where were we? So for 7/8. Okay. Don't panic. You should have got 7/8 by now. Escalators, I would again add this 7/8 plus 1 plus 1. By the end of this question, you should have been at 8/9. A woman walks up on a moving down escalator, speed of the person minus speed of the escalator, and takes 120 seconds, the time for which both the person and escalator travels the same. It walks down on the same escalator, P plus E, and takes 40 seconds to travel. Please understand, this will be the total number of steps of the escalator. Now, if I simplify this, this is 41s and 43s. So what do I get? I get 3P minus 3E is equal to P plus E. Or we have 2P is equal to 4E. Or I get the value of P is equal to 2E. Let's replace P is equal to 2E in the equation. So finally, what do I get? I get 40 into 2E plus E will be my total number of steps on the escalator, which will be how much? 120E are the total number of steps in the escalator. Now, how much time will she take to walk up the escalator when it is not moving, which means the speed of the person is 2E. So 120E is the total distance, 2E is the speed, and therefore the number of seconds taken to go up will be 60 seconds. A sitter question. We have seen escalators in the class. You should have got 8/9 questions by the end of this model. Clear? This is a good score here. 24/27 is a very good score in this paper so far. Clear? There's a casino. According to the reviews, it comes under integer solutions questions, guys. It's a little longer question. I would recommend you to leave this. It doesn't come under divisibility. It's a composition of divisibility / integer solution. So I would rather leave this question, not waste much time here. Graph we have not done. I would leave it. Yeah. So out of 2/3 of the total number of basketball matches, a team has won 17 matches and lost 3 of them. What is the maximum number of matches that the team can lose still and still win 3/4 of the total number of matches? If it is true that no match can end in a tie. That means the total number of matches played were 20. Now 20 is equal to 2/3. Very standard model. Okay, we have seen this. 2 ones are 2 tens. That means total matches become 30. So this guy has to play a total of 30 matches. That means he has to play a total of 10 more matches. Now 30, he has to win 3/4. That means 90 by 4. 90 by 4 becomes 22.5, which means this guy has to win how many matches for sure? 23 matches. For him to win 23 matches, the minimum number of matches he has to win is 6, or the maximum number of matches he can lose is 4. He cannot lose more than 4, because if he loses more than 4, then he cannot win 3/4 of the total matches. Therefore, the answer in this question becomes 4, and your tally increases by 1. 8/9 plus 1 plus 1. So this paper sounds to be good for us. I'm going with 9/10. I'm not considering your percentiles. All I'm looking at is it an easy question? Is it a model we have seen? If yes, jump, solve, do not waste time, get out. Clear? So for 9/10, quadratic, I would leave it. Clear? Again, natural number is chosen at random. First 50 natural numbers, leave it because you have not seen it. Last question, which is of trains, right? So I think we should have solved that numbers question. So we were at 9/10. +1 +1, I would say 10/11. I would go ahead with 11. So 11 attempts and 11 corrects. A score of 33 sounds to be a very promising score in this mock so far. Two easy geometry questions were there. If you were able to convert it, 13, and a few more questions which could have left it. It's okay, no problem. So somewhere around 11 to 13 at this point in time, ignoring all the algebra questions, is a good show, guys. Let's see what does this question talk about. It's a very easy question. This question says a train leaves the station C and station D. A train leaves at 3 o'clock, traveling at 30 kilometers an hour. Train B leaves at 3:20, traveling at 10 miles an hour. Clear? And if train A and train B travel at constant speed, fair enough. At how much time will they meet? Now, when they meet, to apply relative speed, we need relative distance into place. And relative distance is nothing but the distance separating them at the same time. So since train A has traveled, it started at 3 o'clock, I need to see train A covers how long in 20 minutes. 20 minutes is 1/3 of an hour. So distance covered in 1/3 of an hour is 1/3 into 30. That means train D would have covered. So train A would have covered 10 kilometers at 3:20. So distance separating them is 80 because total distance we know is 90 miles. Now 80 and both of them are moving in opposite direction. So 80 divided by 30 plus 10, that is 40, which means they are going to meet 2 hours. Now 2 hours from 3:20. 2 hours from 3:20 gives me 5:20 p.m. is when they will be meeting up. Right, so another easy question. So this is what I have been talking about. Why would I not rate this mock as a difficult mock? For one simple reason, I feel that none of the questions were trapping us too much. None of the questions were very complicated. Direct questions, models, each question should have been solved in 2 to 3 minutes. If I pick 11 good shots, I'm looking at 33 minutes in the paper. I have scanned the paper the way I would have scanned in the examination. I have reached by the end of the question paper. And this is also very important because last question was a very easy question. So even if you're not scanning, but you're very clear which questions to attempt and which questions not to. 11 people who know geometry, those 2 questions could have been converted. So I think 39 would have been a very crazy score, but I would be really happy with 11 into 3, that is 33 marks in this paper. So please go back, see whichever questions you have missed out, go back, solve the concepts of those questions, and then attempt the next mock in a proper manner. That's it for this mock, guys. Keep learning, keep revising. In case you have any doubts, please feel free to get in touch with us. Thank you, guys. All the best.